What would you do if you were wrongly accused, humiliated in public, and your life turned upside down, all while serving your country in secret? This isn't fiction. This is a true story of courage, deception, and justice. Stay tuned, and subscribe now to uncover every shocking twist of this unbelievable event. It was a crisp Tuesday morning in downtown Atlanta when Detective Marcus Hayes received an unusual call from the Midtown Precinct, a report of a disturbance at the First Federal Bank involving a suspected fake check. What seemed like a routine case soon spiraled into a drama none of the officers could have foreseen. At the center was a poised black woman in her early 30s, dressed sharply in business attire, calmly sitting in the bank lobby with a folder of documents beside her. Her name, as it would later emerge, was Special Agent Simone Carter of the FBI, a detail completely unknown to Hayes or the bank security. As Hayes arrived with his team, the scene was tense. Customers murmured quietly while security staff pointed toward the woman. According to them, she had allegedly tried to cash a suspicious check of $250,000, triggering the bank's fraud detection alarms. What made it stranger was the check itself. It was signed with impeccable precision but flagged for possible forgery. As Hayes approached, Simone looked up with a calm demeanor, smiling faintly but refusing to rise from her seat until she was asked to. The officers, unfamiliar with the protocol for such a situation, proceeded cautiously, asking her to stand, explaining the accusation, and requesting her identification. Simone complied but produced a badge from the FBI, something that should have ended the incident immediately. But the reality was far messier. Due to an unusual interagency communication failure, the local police had no record of her operation. They treated her badge as a forgery, believing they were facing a highly trained criminal. A swirl of confusion enveloped the bank, as customers pulled out phones to film the scene. Witnesses later described seeing a tense standoff, police officers aiming their sidearms, bank staff holding their breath, and Simone calmly stating, "I am here on an undercover assignment. This check is part of a sting operation targeting an international fraud ring." The officers hesitated, torn between procedure and instinct. Meanwhile, an impatient bank manager insisted that a serious breach of protocol had occurred and demanded immediate action. Hayes ordered the arrest, the cuffs clicking against Simone's wrists as stunned murmurs filled the air. But as she was led away, she calmly requested to speak to her FBI liaison, giving her side of the story in a composed tone that seemed at odds with the chaos around her. Once inside the squad car, Simone remained silent, her eyes fixed on the city passing by outside. Back at the station, a storm erupted: internal investigations, frantic phone calls between precinct leadership and federal agencies, and leaked footage turning the incident into a viral sensation overnight. The public reaction was explosive, dividing opinions sharply. Was she a victim of racial profiling, or a law enforcement officer acting outside her jurisdiction? The twist deepened when surveillance footage, initially withheld by the bank, was leaked anonymously to the press, showing Simone presenting the check calmly and being interrupted by a bank employee who triggered the alarm. The footage contradicted the office's initial statements, igniting protests outside the precinct and calls for accountability. The FBI quickly confirmed that Simone was indeed on a covert mission targeting a network that had laundered billions through fictitious bank transactions. The fake check was an undercover tool to catch high-level cybercriminals in the act. Yet, the revelation did little to calm tensions. The local police union argued that they had acted correctly, given their lack of communication, while civil rights groups painted the episode as a textbook case of systemic bias. Simone, meanwhile, was placed under protective custody, but refused to remain silent. She insisted on telling her story to the public, revealing the dangerous line agents walk between secrecy and transparency. In a dramatic courtroom appearance weeks later, she testified about her operation, exposing the depth of the fraud ring, a syndicate spanning 4 continents. The courtroom was packed, journalists scribbling furiously as twists continued. Internal FBI documents revealed that the arrest had been pre-planned as part of a contingency test to gauge local response, though no one outside the top ranks knew. This meant the incident was partly orchestrated, an unsettling revelation that blurred lines between justice and manipulation. The fallout reshaped policy. Interagency communication protocols were overhauled, and new legislation was proposed to prevent such misidentifications. But for Simone, the ordeal was personal. Her name, her credibility, and her career had been publicly questioned. The story spread worldwide, becoming a case study in policing, civil rights, and covert operations. Years later, Simone wrote a memoir about the incident, calling it, "The Arrest That Wasn't," detailing every hidden layer of the episode. The systemic failures, the danger of assumptions, the power of secrecy, and the resilience needed to stand firm when the truth is in doubt. In the end, it wasn't just about a fake check, it was about trust, the fragility of truth, and the cost of being the one who walks in between both.